Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson here at O'Reilly Velocity 2011. I'm on the show floor with Denise Cooper. Denise, you've been involved with a lot of communities and a lot of things going on. How do you see the Velocity tribes and communities coming together?
Well, I think it's really exciting, actually. People that work on high-performance websites, they all have the same considerations, but they have been kind of isolated from each other because it tends to be seen as secret sauce how this is done. And so sharing information is so huge. I mean, we get requests all the time for information about how we run Wikipedia, and people are so happy to have the information. So anytime a community grows and people start sharing, it only gets better for everybody.
And do you see this as kind of a joining of two communities, the web ops and the DevOps, and they're kind of coming together with a common interest and a future together?
Yeah, well, this is why I like Theo Schlossnagel's talk so much this morning. The point that, it's not enough to just write an application. You have to think about DevOps now. As websites, there's so much is lost if you don't pay attention to both sides of that coin. And so I think we're going to see engineers coming to understand ops better, and ops people feeling like they have a better voice with engineers. It's only going to be good for everybody.
And one other thing I see is good for everybody is the coming together with open source tools and open source agreements in this community as well. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I think that the proprietary companies are going to have an interesting time in the future here because all of the tools that they produce are going to happen in open source now because people are starting to share really good, credible tools. And some of the largest websites in the world are run completely on open source. We're top 5. We don't have any proprietary software at all. And we're starting to see companies like Facebook actually give back, put out their stuff. In fact, I would love to see them put out their management suite in an open source license, and then everybody could use it. We'd all be using it.
So if you had one suggestion for any company deciding to start up a Velocity-like startup and trying to use open source software, what should be the first thing they do?
Well, I thought that the other talk this morning about using the cloud and leveraging the cloud, trying all the possible options in parallel, failing in parallel, it's a huge open source lesson to learn, and it's a fast way to get to the right answer. So I think I would absolutely design to fail in parallel.
Excellent. So what kind of talks are you going to go to this afternoon, and what do you think looks interesting for the rest of the show?
I'm interested in anything about scaling in mobile because we're doing a lot of development into the mobile space. We're trying to broaden our reach in India and Brazil in the developing world. And we know there are people who actually edit Wikipedia on a smartphone, and trying to get our setup for mobile to be much more performant and also easier to configure for people that use MediaWiki for their own wikis. Right now it's very hard to have a mobile gateway, and so we're trying to set it up so it's just part of MediaWiki. So I'm learning a lot about mobile performance here today.
And what did you think about that keynote this morning about the performance profiling tool? I thought that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. These tools are going to get better and better, and they're going to be more and more open. They're going to use more and more standards, which is going to help everybody. I mean, we'll see the whole world of pushing bits get much more efficient the less proprietary things become.
So we're looking at Velocity Berlin and potentially Velocity in South America. And any suggestions for people in those regions on what they should be doing?
Oh, gosh, yes. In fact, we were just talking about that earlier. I think that I just came back from Berlin. We just had a meet up there. Huge performance community there. That'll be a really interesting place. In Brazil, it's the same world, but in Portuguese, right? And it's a huge country and a huge region with lots and lots and lots of websites too. And so I think there's definitely going to be some interest there. There's an enormous existing JavaScript community. So I think that it'll be easy to find people that'll be really interesting.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time, Denise, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.